Today's topic is soil microbiology. The field of soil microbiology was explored during the very last part of 19th century. The establishment of the principal roles that microorganisms play an important role in biologically important cycle, that are nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycle and carbon cycle. It is due to the two scientists. They are Sir Winogrodsky M.G. Wejernik. Hi, I am Manti, and in this video I am going to discuss about the microbes which are important for soil fertility and in agricultural life. Soil microbes can be grouped into bacteria, actinomycetes, fungi, algae, protozoa, nematodes, and are involved in the decomposition of soil organic matter, and the rate of decomposition depend on the nature of microorganisms which is present in soil, and it contains about 8 to 15 tons of microbes. So, our biological fertility is understudied and our scientific knowledge is also incomplete. In addition to fertility, soil microorganisms also play an essential role in nutrient cycle and that are fundamentally important in the life of the earth. In the past, agricultural practices have failed to promote healthy population of the microorganisms, and it is due to the lack of knowledge. Nowadays, scientific research is exploring new and exciting possibilities for the restoration and promoting of healthy microbial population in the soil. So, soil is essential for the maintenance of the biodiversity of this earth. The wealth of biodiversity below ground is vast and unappreciated. Millions of microorganisms they live and reproduce in a few grams of topsoil, an ecosystem which is essential for life on earth. So, a better understanding of soil microbiology is essential if agricultural production is to meet the need of a growing world population. In many regions, the healthy microbial population is still being threatened or not being promoted by the agricultural practices. So, we are thankful to Winogrodsky and M.J. Wejernik for the development and contribution of the studies of soil microbiology. Almost equally important was the work of M.J. Wejernik, who isolated the agent of symbiotic and non-symbiotic aerobic nitrogen fixation. However, the greatest contribution of Wejernik was a new and profoundly important technique, that is enrichment culture technique, which is used to isolate and study various physiological types of various microorganisms, which is isolated from natural sample through the use of a specific culture media and incubation conditions. Microorganisms are not only directly influenced by fundamental soil characteristics such as moisture, oxygen, and chemistry, but also by each other in both beneficial and predatory ways. By becoming holistically aware of the fundamental importance of soil organism and then developing an understanding how biological processes in soil are influenced by changes in the soil environment. And in this video we will learn that how to manage soil in a way that enhances the beneficial provided by the soil organism. Soil fertility or its capacity to enrich natural and agricultural plants is dependent upon three interacting and mutually dependent components, that is physical fertility, chemical fertility and biological fertility. Biological fertility refers to the organisms that live in the soil and interact with the other components. Physical fertility refers to the physical properties of the soil, which includes structure, texture, water absorption and holding capacity and root penetration. Whereas chemical fertility involves, that is the nutrient level, presence of chemical condition, that is acidity, alkalinity and salinity, that may be harmful or toxic to the plants. These organisms live in soil, organic matter or the soil organism and perform various important role in soil. Some of them perform critical function in the nutrients and carbon cycles. Very few soil organisms are pests. one of these three fertility component. It is microbiological element. The rich diversity of the organism such as bacteria, viruses, fungi and algae that form interactive microbial communities that are the most complex and paradoxically the last well understood theory. Soil microbial communities underpin the productivity of all agricultural enterprises and are primarily drivers in ecological process such as the nutrient and carbon cycling, degradation of contaminants and suppression of soil-borne diseases. They are also intimately involved in a range of beneficial and an essential interrelationship between plants. Each of these group has different characteristics that define the organisms and different functions in the soil where it lives. Importantly, these organisms do not exist in isolation. They interact and their interaction influence soil fertility as much as they can. So, what is the role of microbes in the soil? It plays an important essential role in decomposing organic matter, cyclic nutrients and fertilizing the soil. It plays an important role for the development of healthy soil structure. In natural environment, plants are a part of rich ecosystem which includes numerous and diverse microorganisms in the soil. It has been long recognized that some of these microbes such as mycorrhizal fungi or nitrogen fixing symbiotic fungi plays an important role in plant performance by improving mineral neutralization. However, the full range of microbes which is associated with plants and their potential to replace synthetic agricultural input which is recently been studied and is still uncovered. In the last few years, a great progress has been made in the knowledge of the composition of rhizophoric microbiomes and their dynamics. It is clear that the evidence shows that plants shape microbiome structure, most probably by root exudates, and also the bacteria has developed various adaptations to thrive in the rhizophoric niches. The mechanism of this interaction and the processes driving the alterations in microbiomes and are however still unknown. Hence, the interaction of bacteria and plants, that is, bacteria means root associated bacteria which enhance plant mineral nutrition. So, from here it is clear that it has various important role in soil health. Now, about the metabolic signals which recruits favorable microbes. The growth of soil microbes is usually carbon limited. So, the high amount of sugar, amino acids and organic acid that plants deposit in the rhizosphere, which represents a variable nutrition source. However, deposition of this level carbon does not necessarily foster the recruitment of favorable microbes because pathogenic strains can also use this molecule as a growth substrate. Therefore, it can be postulated that plants has evolved recognition mechanism to discriminate beneficial microbes from those that are need to be repelled. In such a case, the specific molecules present in root exudates that contribute to shaping the microbial community structure, which are potential targets for plant breeding strategies that seek to engineer the rhizosphere microbiome. It has been shown that plant root exudates contain components which is used in below ground chemical communication strategies such as flavonoids, stigolactinoids and terpenoids. However, some studies on the microbiome of different plant species and assessments revealed strong variations, leading to the hypothesis that exudates are crucial in shaping plant microbe interactions. Further, it is also shown that plants specifically attract beneficial interaction partner via root derived signals. Next is about microbial traits and the bioavailability of nutrients for plants. Three mechanisms are usually put forward to explain how microbial activity can boost plant growth. First of all, it manipulates the hormonal signaling of plant. Second, it repels or outcompeting pathogenic microbial strains. Third, increasing the bioavailability of soil-borne nutrients. So, in this video, I will focus on the third mechanism, that is increasing the bioavailability of the soil-borne nutrients, whereby soil microbes metabolize recalcitrant form of soil-borne nutrients to liberate these elements for plant nutrition. In natural ecosystem, most nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur are bound in organic molecule and are therefore minimally bioavailable for plants. To assess these nutrients, plants are dependent on the growth of the soil microbes such as bacteria and fungi, which process the metabolic machinery to depolymerize and mineralize organic forms of nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur. So, these microbial nutrient transformation are key drivers of plant growth and can sometimes be the rate limiting step in ecosystem productivity. So, this is all about the microbial traits and the bioavailability of nutrients for plant. Next is interconnection of plants with soil microbes. Although plant physiologists sometimes view soil as simply a source of nutrient to plants, it is actually a complex ecosystem which hosts bacteria, fungi, protists and many more animals. Plants exhibit a diverse array of interaction with these soil-dwelling organisms, which span the full range of ecological possibilities. However, it is interesting in characterizing the positive ecological interaction that promote plant growth. For instance, mycorrhizal fungi as well as the bacteria present in nodulated legumes were both recognized as root symbionts from the second half of the 19th century. In the last few years, research has been swung towards assembling rationally designed synthetic communities that comprise strains representing the dominant rhizophoric taxa with the aim of favorable microbial function under controlled experiment conditions. A major goal of this research field is to gain a mechanistic understanding of how soil microbes boost plant growth and defenses, and then to use this knowledge to inform the optimal design of microbial communities which tailored to carry out specific function. So this is all about the interconnection of the plant with soil microbes. Algae are present in most of the soil where moisture and sunlight are available. Their number in the soil ranges from 100 to 10,000 per gram of soil. They are capable of photosynthesis, whereby they can obtain carbon dioxide from atmosphere and energy from sunlight so that they can synthesize their own food. They can play an important role in the maintenance of soil fertility, especially in tropical soils, adding an organic matter to soil when they die and thus increasing the amount of organic carbon in soil. It can act as a cementing agent by binding soil particles and thereby reducing and preventing soil erosion. It can help to increase the water retention capacity of soil for longer time period. It can liberate large quantities of oxygen in the soil environment through the process of photosynthesis, and it is helpful in submerged aeration. It can help to check the loss of nitrate through leaching and draining, especially in uncropped soils. It can help in the weathering of rocks and the building up of soil structure. So this is all about algae. Next is about fungi. They are unusual organisms in that they are not plants nor animals. They group themselves into fibrous sting called hyphae. The hyphae then form a group called mycelium, which are less than 0.8 micrometer wide but can get a long as several meter. They are helpful but can also be harmful to soil organisms. Fungi are helpful because they have the ability to break down nutrients then other microorganisms cannot. They can release them into the soil and other microorganisms can utilize them. They can attach themselves to plant roots. Due to the presence of fungi, most plants grow much better. This is beneficial relationship called mycorrhizal. The fungi help the plant by giving it needed nutrients and the fungi get carbohydrate from the plants. On the other hand, fungi can also act as a parasite and attaching themselves to plants or other organisms for a selfish reason. It has some important function in soil, such as it acts as a decomposer, it acts as a mutualistic, it acts as a parasites. In decomposers, it acts as a saprophytic fungi, which can convert dead organic material into fungal biomass, and where carbon dioxide and small molecules are produced. In mutualistic, it can act as a mycorrhizal fungi, where colonize plant roots. For the exchange of carbon, this mycorrhizal fungi is helpful. It can make phosphorus soluble and can bring soil nutrients to the plants, such as it can bring phosphorus, nitrogen, micronutrients and water to the plant. And one major group of mycorrhiza is that it can grow on the surface layer of the root and are commonly associated with plants. The second major group of mycorrhiza are the endomycorrhiza that grow within the root cells and which are commonly associated with grasses, row crops, vegetables and shrubs. Next is about parasites, the third group of fungi, pathogens or parasites. It can cause reduced production or death when they colonize roots and other organisms. Next is about bacteria. I have made a separate lecture on this bacteria. The link is in description box. If you want, you can see it from there. There are anywhere from 100 million to 1 billion bacteria in a just teaspoon of moist fertile soil. They act as a decomposer, they can eat dead plants and can use organic and inorganic waste material. And they are mainly helpful in nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycle and in carbon cycle. So they took part in various biogeochemical cycles. Next is about protozoa. They are colorless, single-celled animal-like organism. They are larger than bacteria, which varies from few microns to few millimeters. Their population in arable soil ranges from 10,000 to 1 lakh per gram of soil, and they are abundant in surface soil. They can understand adverse soil condition as they are characterized as a protected dominant stage of their life cycle. Most protozoans derive their nutrients from feeding or ingesting soil bacteria and thus play an important role in maintaining microbial or bacterial equilibrium in the soil. And they can recently used as a biological control agent against organisms which are harmful diseases in plants. Several soil protozoa causes diseases in human also and that are carried through water and other vectors. Amoebic dysentery is most common. It has also some important role in mineralizing nutrients, making them available for the use of plants and other soil microorganisms. It has a lower concentration of nitrogen in their cell that the bacteria eat. The ratio of carbon to nitrogen for protozoa is 10 is to 1 or much more than about 3 is to 1 to 10 is to 1 for bacteria. Bacteria eat by protozoa. It can contain too much nitrogen for the amount of carbon protozoa needed. They release the excess nitrogen in the form of ammonium. This usually occurs nearly the root system of a plant. Bacteria and other organisms rapidly take up most of the ammonium, but some is used by the plant. Some soils have high number of bacteria or nematodes, but never present in both. The significance of this difference to plants is not known actually, but group consume bacteria and can release ammonia. So, this is all about protozoa in soil microbiology. Next is about soil viruses. It has a great importance and they can influence the ecology of soil biological communities because it has the ability to transfer gene from one host to another and as a potential causes of microbial mortality. Consequently, viruses are major player in global cycles, influencing the turnover and concentration of nutrients and gases. We all know the subject of soil virology is understudied. To explore the role of the viruses in plant health and soil equality, studies are being conducted into virus diversity and which abundance in different geographical areas. It has been found that viruses are highly abundant in all the areas where it is studied, even in circumstances that where bacterial population differ significantly in the same environment. Soil probably harbor many novel viral species. Together may represent a large reservoir of genetic diversity. Some researchers believe that investigating this largely unexplored diversity of soil viruses has the potential to transform our understanding of the role of viruses in global ecosystem, which processes the evolution of microbial life itself. Next is about nematodes. Strictly speaking, that it is not a microorganism, but it has a size in between 50 microns in diameter to 1 millimeter in length. So, sometimes these species are responsible for plant diseases which have received much attention nowadays, but far less is known about much of the nematode community which play a beneficial role in soil. An incredible variety of nematodes have been found to function at several levels of the soil food web. Some food in the plant and algae and other grazers that feed a bacteria and fungi, and some feed other nematodes. Free living nematodes can be divided into 4 groups based on their diet. Bacterial feeder consume bacteria. Fungal feeder feed by puncture the cell wall of the fungi and can suck the internal content. Predatory nematodes can eat all types of nematodes and protozoa. They eat smaller organisms whole or attach themselves to the cuticle of larger nematode, scraping away until the pressed internal body parts can be extracted. Like protozoa, nematodes are important in mineralization or releasing nutrients in plants which is available in soil. When nematodes eat bacteria or fungi, ammonium is released because bacteria and fungi contain much more nitrogen than the nematodes require. So, this is all about soil microbiology. So, let's have some quick summary of this session. That soil microorganisms play an essential role in decomposing organic matter, cycling nutrients and fertilizing the soil. Without the cycling of the elements, the continuation of life on earth would be impossible, since essential nutrients could rapidly be taken up by the organism and can locked in the form they can used by other. Next, It has some important role for the development of healthy soil structure. It can produce lots of gummy substances, that is polysaccharides and mucilages, that can help to cement soil aggregates. This cement makes aggregates less likely to crumble when exposed to water. Next, soil microorganisms are both components and producers of soil organic carbon, a substance that lock carbon in the soil for longer period. Abundant soil organic carbon improves soil fertility and water retentivity capacity. In the past, soil microbiological sciences has focused upon the harmful or pathogenic threats which are found in soil dwelling microorganisms. This has been skewed our understanding that soil microorganism can pose no threat to human health or to agricultural production, rather than they are harmful for human as well as in some agricultural field also. So this is all about today. Thank you for watching this video.